Alright, hello everyone and welcome to NFL Discussion. I'm your host and NFL enthusiast Doug. In today's episode I'm going to be discussing Week 15 of the 2023 NFL season, Eagles versus Seahawks, and this was a game where it was unknown who was going to be starting for the Seahawks. It ended up being Drew Lock. Jalen Hurts, questionable of an illness, still managed to play the game, and well, many might have expected the Eagles to win, but the Seahawks pulled off the upset. And with that, we're going to get right into the action, starting with, if I get the thing to go, there we go. Philadelphia Eagles, who let one slip away here, and with this loss, I think it's safe to say, are officially in a rut. Jalen Hurts came into the game listed as questionable of an illness, traveling separately from the team to Seattle. He would ultimately suit up under center for the sliding Eagles, falling short on a Drew Lock-led 2-minute touchdown drive to send Philadelphia to their third straight loss. Hurts didn't get much going through the air against the heavy zone rates of Seattle defense. He only passed for 143 yards, though he did have robust numbers on the ground, including 2 rushing scores. The Eagles fall to 10-4 with a loss and suddenly find themselves in the 5th seed out of first place. 5th seed and first place in the NFC East, losing the tiebreaker to the Cowboys via divisional record. The Eagles will need to regroup ahead of their Week 16 matchup with the Giants. DeAndre Swift took over the game in the second half for the Eagles. As they attempted to milk the clock towards a victory. Ultimately, Philadelphia would get stopped nearing the 2-minute warning, which gave the ball back to the Seahawks with enough time for them to mount their touchdown drive to steal the game away. A.J. Brown only had 56 yards in the game, and he struggled to find the soft spots and zone coverages of the Seahawks for the duration of the contest, bringing in just half of his 10 targets in the process. The good news was the 32% target rate, with the glaring discrepancy being the poor efficiency. So yeah, Philadelphia's in a rut. Are they going to be able to rebound? Yeah, I think so. If I remember correctly, their schedule is 2 games against the Giants with a game against the Cardinals sandwiched in between. If I remember correctly, that's their final 3 games. So I guess you could say they're easy games. I don't believe in easy games, but I do believe in winnable games, and those are winnable games, and I think Philadelphia should be able to rebound, should be able to win those games. It is quite fascinating watching the Eagles season unfold. They got 10 wins, and yet they look like a one-and-done team in the postseason compared to like the 49ers, who are just firing on all cylinders and not slowing down anytime soon. Well, Philadelphia is struggling on offense, struggling on defense. They switched play callers for the defense, and that basically, it worked mostly. But when it mattered most, the defense came up short and allowed, they came up short. So yeah, Philadelphia's in a rut, but I believe that they will rebound and still be able to win the East. But again, are they one and done in the postseason? It looks like it with the way they are performing. Seattle Seahawks. So Drew Lock found a groove at the right time and pulled off that game-winning drive, and Seattle got a much-needed win with a classic formula for Pete Carroll, and that was just run the ball. And also got to give a shout out to their defense, who rediscovered their form, got a couple of interceptions off of Jalen Hurts, and Seattle with this win still in a good spot for playoff positioning, but the Rams do hold a tiebreaker over them. So while they do need all the wins they can get, they're still outside looking in, and Drew Lock and the Seahawks largely struggled to move the ball against the new-look Philadelphia defense in the first half, but altered course after the break, relying on Kenneth Walker to move the chains. An early third-quarter touchdown by Walker knotted the game at 10 before the Seahawks were given the ball back, with under 2 minutes remaining, down by 4. Lock went into overdrive on the final drive, connecting with rookie wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba on his best throw of the night to steal the game away from the Eagles. Lock will likely retreat to the bench in Week 16 with Geno Smith nearing a return from his injuries. And Kenneth Walker rushed 19 times for 86 yards and a touchdown. And more important for Walker than the solid outing was the fact that he out-touched change of pace back Zach Charbonnet 22-4. Either way, Walker returned solid reduction against a formidable Eagles run defense. Up next is a road trip to Tennessee to take on the struggling Titans in Week 16. DK Metcalf caught 5 of 6 targets for 78 yards, and no catch was more important than the 34-yard reception he made with 2 defenders draped all over him to set up the game-winning touchdown reception. Metcalf's end results weren't as pretty as they were in his previous 2 games, but he had decent stat lines with Drew Lock under center. Metcalf could find more room to produce with Geno Smith expected to return in Week 16. So yeah, this was a nice win for Seattle. Will it matter in the end? Maybe, maybe not. With the way the Rams are rolling, probably not again. Rams had that tiebreaker, and Seattle, as a result, is on the outside looking in. But also, you got to consider the Minnesota Vikings as well too, with their quarterback situation limiting what their offense can do. And also, they got a couple of games against a Lions team that can absolutely steamroll people with their offense. And then, when their defense is right, their defense is one of the best in the NFL. So, there might still be a chance for Seattle to slip into that final spot. The Packers are kind of sliding at the moment as well. They had a tough loss against the Buccaneers. So, there's still room for Seattle, but they got to take care of business on their end and hope that they get the necessary help to get in. And with that will conclude this episode of NFL Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below.